All right, we improvise like we always do. Larry's about 10 minutes away from the office, so we will continue on.
We make the intro real quick at the end.
You have a question?
You can show my video that just came up.
Oh, Marcus, show Catina's video. How long is it? Show Catina's video.
I love Catina's video.
Now,
I'll watch it.
Now, I'm going to turn the lights off now.
No, she's good. She's good.
What we like to do, as opposed to a lot of companies, they like to that teach education. They put these gurus. Oh, we want $1 million players to teach our people. Wow, there's Pam Marcy.
Pam.
Hey,
But you know what?
You
You learn just as much from the people that made a $2,000 deal out there.
come here.
Because that's most of us out there doing our first deal. How do you get gone? You know, we just don't sometimes associate with those, $1 billion people telling you all kinds of stuff. Is it real? Is it not real? I had Catina standing right up here, and I want her up here all the time. And I want people like Catina sitting up here all the time. Because that's the truth. That's where people do this business, in the trenches. Hopefully she will be a $1 million guru, and then, we'll say we'll remember her when.
And she's a six-figure guru. And
Marcus, you got her come queuing up?
Yeah, I just got to push the button.
Hey, 6 figures ain't nothing.
All right.
I got a deal tomorrow.
6 figures.
And we're going to film her.
She's out hustling. That's what I love to see.
We actually filmed her story before, but I threw the lights off one day and I couldn't see her, so I got to bring her back to film it again. But we want the story of the people who started in the hood. All their friends they knew were in the hood. How do you get going with all those kind of friends? She actually helped them fix their credit, and now they're all buying houses a year and a half later.
That's what it takes.
That's the story we want to tell.
And she made a 6-figure income doing it.
Yeah.
Helping people.
That's right. That's right.
Anyway, let's pop her on here and let's see Catina. You got it, Marcus?
So one of the things I touch on people, knowing what's on your credit, knowing how to repair your credit, and also knowing how to raise your credit scores. A lot of people don't understand making late payments hurts your credit. A lot of people don't understand that not paying your bills on time. Things like that creates bad habits. So what I teach people is I not only want to put you in a house, I want you to stay in your house. I don't want you working 3 jobs to afford your house. So my clients know I put them on a budget. I hold them accountable. I make them screenshot their budget to me every month. I make them screenshot their credit to me every month to make sure we're on the same path before I even get you to the process of wrong. Because a lot of times I can help you fix your credit, but I have to fix your mindset too. I can teach you how to use a credit card, but I can't be with you at all times. So, learning how to use a secure credit card, knowing how much you can spend, how much you can't spend, making those habits better for not only you, but for your family. Because I also tell you to teach your children about credit. I know with me, I did not learn about credit until I got older. And I realized that, like Ron said, cash is not king anymore. That you need credit, So now that I've learned it, I've taught my children. Both of my daughters will be buying homes next year also. So I do understand the process. Like I said, I teach people credit first. And this is one of the sheets I use. I don't know if you got it in your page, and I tell you to go through the examples and different things that ask, do you know what's on your credit? It also asks you about wills, about, do you have a living will? Do you have insurance? Do you know your identity is stolen every 3 seconds? Someone's identity is stolen. But when you got bad credit, of course, you don't have to worry about people stealing your credit. Right? But once we go through this process and you have good credit, you need to find a way to protect your credit. I'm with a company called Financial Educational Services. And what we do is we have people that will help you repair your credit, will help you keep your credit repaired. Also, they have lawyers that will fight for settlements on your credit. Like, say if you have a creditor who is not willing to work with you or can't identify if this credit is yours. A lot of times, you have to go back and forth with the creditors instead of that FES, which is Financial Educational Service, to do the work for you. I do teach people how to repair their credit. I do not do it for you, because I found in the past when I did it for people, they didn't appreciate it and it was messed up the next month or two.
Katina, you're the best. I love you. I love that lady right there.
Of course, Toastmasters teach you to never leave the podium on. You're supposed to jump up here and take over. Anyway, while we're waiting for Larry Simons is my old broker down in Florida. Hope he's not watching. Like the smartest guy I know.
And then your picture's up there alone.
From your office.
Well, I turned it off. Well, I have it on there because I'm going to show you a piece of property. He always comes up with these deals. He has a unbelievable deal. So when he gets on, I just wanted to show this one quick one when he gets on here. But for now, actually, Marcus, you really should be shooting that way.
Well, we'll do that
because I want Paul and Steve to be on the film.
Okay.
Unless they pick their chairs up or just
so
take these two
can
front
move up there.
chairs.
It doesn't matter.
Why don't you guys come on up here?
Let's pull
Another stool.
Larry is online.
Larry's on?
Yeah, he's just now come on.
Is he on there?
Yep.
Larry, you on? I'm on. Hello.
Larry.
Put up your picture.
Alright, somebody's got like...
Hello, Larry.
Hello, Irina.
How are you?
Oh, just exhausted.
Tired.
Working from 9 to
We got
9.
a class there, huh?
Yeah,
We got people for you, Larry.
We got a good
people for you.
All right. Let's see, we take all the people and divide up 3.9 million, and we need like $500,000 apiece.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, everyone, don't run up all at once.
Yeah. Marcus, let's get Larry smaller and the property bigger.
Okay.
Hello? And let's get whoever that is muted.
Yeah. Def will mute you.
Yeah, I was muted.
It's a shaky property.
It's on earthquake. It's on a fault line.
Not shaky on my screen.
It's an earthquake of a deal.
I put it back to small again. It wasn't shaky before. There it goes.
Todd.
All right, go ahead, Larry. Tell them about it real quick. Or slow, or whatever.
This property has been available for probably 5 or 6 years. This was originally sold, I think, and developed for like $7 or $8, maybe $9 million. It was some ridiculous number back in the economy plus. But anyway, this came back on the market with the bank that owns it that was carrying the mortgage. After all this has been done to it, if you read it, you'll see that the water and the sewer and the roads and all the engineering, and the lake, and the community building, pool, and all that's in. Now, it has been vandalized, and there's one of the duplexes been built, and there was a building that's an entry that's been built, and it's been vandalized, but still, it's okay. Now, it's zoned for an RV park, and what they were going to do is the 97 lots on the lake were for RVs, and what you would do is buy a pad for the RV, and then have a small little building next to your RV. Am I echoing to y'all?
No, you're good.
Okay, it's echoing back to me. I don't know why.
Larry, if our feedback, I guess, if when we have it open for the entire room, you get an echo on your side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcus, speak on the mic.
I got it. Let him talk.
As long as I know it's supposed to be doing that. Okay, the engineer, Bob Farnsworth, with Focus Engineering, is the one that did all the engineering for this development, and FGU is the water and sewer company for the county that he did all the water and sewer for, and all the pipes are in, and all the assessments are paid, everything is done. Now this is you're talking about a $2 million investment in this property just for the water and sewer. Okay, so it's all hooked up to county water and sewer. Most of all the impact fees are paid. I think there's like only $500,000 in impact fees left. You got a beautiful 37 or 47 acre lake. This thing is ready to go. You could actually start building in probably less than 6 months. Now, if you started from scratch, if the lake was there with this piece of property, and you started from scratch, you'd probably be 2 years to get your first house in the ground. Okay, this is all done. The bank took it back. The bank has had it for sale from anywhere from $3 million to $3.9, where it's at right now. It has been under contract since I started looking to buy this property. It's been under contract 3 times. Every time I got to the point where I was getting a group together, or I got a developer to buy it, it went under contract. And that's going to happen again, because each time it's fallen through, it's gone back under contract right away. There is an appraisal, as you see in the listing, for $5.5 million at today's value. What I'm looking to do is, the best thing would be someone to come in with $3 million and make them an offer of $3 million or 3.2. If anybody has the ability to do that, there's about $3 to $4 million at least profit in this project. Okay? What I'm looking to do, and the only reason why I think I can do this is because one of the gentlemen from the bank, that is one of the big wigs, I don't know if he's the vice president or whatever, but him and I, in the midst of the recession, okay, he foreclosed on a 10-unit apartment building in Fort Myers. And he was told by all the different realtors that he talked to, and people he talked to get that property sold was to call me. Okay? So I did. I took on the property. We cleaned up the property to sell it, and we sold it for him. So the thing he liked about me, and he shared in the last meeting we had with an investment group about this property, is that, hey, Larry gets it done. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't BS. He comes in and he does it, and he gets it done. So I think, thank you, John. I think that's it. That's great. So they were listening to us, but that particular buyer I had was one buyer or 2 guys, and they were going to buy the whole thing. And this was about a year ago. And now it's back on the market 2 contracts later. And I think my proposal that I emailed Mark might work. And that proposal is this. We say to the bank, look, we'll give you $3.5 million for the property. There's about $1 million worth of work that needs to be done to this place to be absolutely ready to start building. All right, now not necessarily things from the county necessarily, but like the rec hall redone, the pool redone, the roads redone. This thing's been sitting here for 10 years vacant. So we're just estimating, Bob Farnsworth and I, the engineer who did the original project, said, we're probably going to spend $1 million, okay? So here's my proposal in a nutshell. I might move too fast for many of you, but just kind of listen a little bit, and then you can look at my email and it kind of reiterates it. But let's just say we're the bank, hey, look, bank, we'll lease purchase the property. You don't even have to give us title to the property. We want to start immediately. We're going to give you $100,000 non-refundable, which is no big deal on $3.9 million, right? We'll offer you $3.5 million, and we'll come in and we'll spend $1 million on the property. The $100,000 we gave you and $900,000 more, and we'll start building. Again, the property's going to stay in their name. We don't get title. There's no mortgage. There's no interest. Nothing. They continue to pay the taxes and insurance. We want 3 years. And my proposal is this. I have 3 different builders that are ready to build in there. One of them being myself, A1 Construction, that I qualify. Green Block is another one which we're going to be offering a franchise for Green Block Homes through Green. Has nothing to do with Green, but it just so happens the name of the company is Green Block. And then I have another builder through the engineer who builds steel homes. And all 3 of them are ready to take a subdivision and just start building, okay? And we can do separate groups for those, a smaller group. My thought was this: every lot that we sell, we give the bank like $35,000 to $40,000. So we sell a lot, they get the first $35,000 of the lot sale. Then we build on it, and then from there, of course, it's our deal. There is, if anyone has a calculator, you can calculate this out. We'd be selling the lots around the lake for $50,000 to $60,000. The cost at $3.5 million, if you divide it up, there's 97 lots around the lake, and there's 34 lots that are zoned duplex. So 34 is 68 units. So you're about 165 units total. But as far as lots are concerned, you're 134, 133, whatever. It's about $29,000 a lot. The lots around the lake should sell between between 50 and 60. So there's roughly around a $30,000 profit in the lots at 97. So that's $3 million right there. And then the duplex lots, there's probably more profit than that. But if you just use a round number of 30,000 times 134 lots, you're looking at about $3.5 million profit just in the lots. Now take away probably $500,000 to $600,000 to $700,000 in expenses, commissions to brokers to sell them, carrying costs, whatever. So there's somewhere around close to a $3 million net profit just in selling the lots. And each builder that we have that's willing to go into the development is willing to share with the group that buys it, is willing to share a portion of the building profit, which is probably another $1 million at least. Okay, the builders still make probably $1 million. The sales company will probably be $1 million, and then the investors in the subdivision probably $1 million. So we're talking about a $4 million profit. So if you take $1 million and you divide it by 10, that's $100,000 a piece. In a 3-year period of time, you should get your $100,000 back and make $300,000, right? So that's a net of $200,000 to $300,000 a piece in a 3-year period. Now, look that up in your fucking waggle. I mean, hello, that's a deal. So, and then there's a property management. There's the association from thereafter that's going to be collecting fees from 165 owners in there. Then until it completely built out, the association can be owned by the developer. So that's something else that we can retain. So it's a phenomenal investment. It really a big guy needs to come in and buy this because it's a slam dunk. But we're little guys, and maybe we can put a group together, and maybe we can go to the bank. And again, with my connection with one of the bankers, maybe he might say, you know what, we've tried 3 times to sell this. Larry's got a group here that's going to do it, and we're going to start building, and we're going to get paid. Maybe they'll do it. It's a long shot. But I'm also thinking in presenting this property, somebody's going to know somebody that has about $3 million laying around, or a company that may have, 3 companies that have $1 million that they might want to invest. And again, there's $3 to $4 million profit here. So that's it in a nutshell. So from there, if anyone's interested, we can go further. If I have 5 out of 10 people, which I've already got 3, that are willing to go into the $100,000 apiece deal, I'm going to go ahead and write up a contract, with a 60-day due diligence or something, and give us some time to come up with people, and at least go down and talk to John at the bank and say, hey, would you even consider this? So anyway, that's my thoughts. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Mark,
I just wanted to present that and see if anybody through our network, which, by the way, I would probably say that Green is probably the largest real estate network I know of in the country. I don't know what your statistics are, Mark, but we've got a good connection here, and we might be able to come up with something like this.
I love Larry because he says million like 50 times in a conversation. Think big, baby. Think big. Any questions? Manny, what do you got?
Oh, no, I don't have a question. Sorry.
You got $3 million on you? I know Paulie has half of that in his pocket.
It's too small for me, you know what I mean? I'm doing secure.
All right, Larry, we will
say something like that,
I told you I got this guy in Vero I got to talk to, and and I have a guy in Jacksonville with he was going to put up $3 million for us on another deal, so we'll kick it around over here. We'll let you know in the next couple days. Pam has money.
Couple of quick questions. It's bank owned at this point?
Yeah.
And did I miss it? Where is it?
Fort Myers, Florida.
In Fort Myers? Okay.
Which, by the way, is a hot market right now.
Oh, it's always
I know that. I got stuff in Florida right now, and I can't put it on the market. It's gone right away.
And last question, if somebody came in, would Larry, I know he wants the building aspect, the property management aspect, but if somebody comes in and makes him an offer,
we deal all the time, right, Larry? If somebody wants to buy it out from you, we'll sell it, right?
Oh no, I have no problem with someone coming in and buying it from me, okay, as a salesperson, and just buying the whole thing themselves. Or you have your own little group. It doesn't have to be this 10 people at 100,000. In fact, I don't think we have a great chance of getting it, from the bank, saying, hey, just give it to us on a lease purchase, and we're going to spend $1 million on it, and we're only going to put in 100,000. It's a long shot. I've done some long shots in my career, and it's possible to work. But really, this is really for someone bigger than what we're talking about. This is for someone that can strike a check for $3 million and probably get it.
Yeah, like we have these all the time. So if this one if you have a buyer for it all, fine. We'll step out. You step in, and he buys it. One of your country music singer guys.
What if you don't use the other builders? You retain the whole thing. What's the profit on the back end on average for the whole shooting match without the other builders? You build it out and sell it. Like with a sales office. Like with.
Who do you get to build it?
You hire a builder.
Well, we have 3 different builders.
What's the total profit if you don't have anybody else, but you come in with one investor?
Like if the A1 construction was the only guy, he had his $1 million, and the 3 or without the 3 because he worked with the bank. What's the profit if he just took it? He did the whole project.
Larry, you understand what they're trying to say?
If he just did
if you controlled the whole shooting match and you just had one builder, you mentioned 3 builders.
We do. Larry owns his own construction company.
So that's what I'm saying. So we have one builder, which obviously.
But you know what? If you have 3 different builders in there, we get it fast. We might lose a little time, but you know what? If you have one group of guys doing condos.
Building 1/3 to the investment group.
I got you.
Yeah, now, if
you can't get any better than that.
You would be making somewhere around $3 million profit on the land, and probably about $3 million profit on the building. So
that's
Paul, if you were a contractor and you bought it with your $3 million and you built it, you're probably talking $5 or $6 million net.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. That's
and you can probably sell it out in 3 to 5 years.
You understand? Thank you. That's a good one right there. You just saw.
And there's no problem with that.
Yeah. I think that's the stronger way to come in. You come in that way, I think you'll be stronger to get it at the bank too on the initial.
Oh, sure.
And then on the back end also too, kind of like the one me and Steve talked about this morning, that deal that you didn't have.
So I do have a question now, so I can feel important. 1 million, you would start that project? Is that like the gist of it?
He's trying to make the bank feel good about leasing us the money by throwing $1 million into the deal. And if we bail out, the bank has $1 million worth more of infrastructure.
And is that how much it takes to do how much of the infrastructure?
Well, more you're probably going to be starting a couple of the buildings, right? At that first $1 million that you throw in there.
Oh yeah, we would start building right away.
Right away.
How much would I missed the problem? How much would it be the whole project
he's
by the time
estimating
it's
that is full infrastructure completion.
That's to get to the building point. Because they have a lot of stuff that's already there.
Okay.
They did all the soils.
People are going to be pulling loans to build their houses.
Yeah.
Sewer, all
we're not going to build.
We don't need that. They just need about $1 million to get the building. So if we came in with $500,000 each, we could get involved in this deal, but we don't have to come up with the whole amount.
Yes,
you see, because it just gets them to build. Now the other builders, obviously, they're going to be building houses for potential buyers. They're going to have like a little office, and okay, we're building this around. We're selling this lot for $50,000 around the little pond lake.
Yes.
Well, you won't want to split up lot by lot, right, Larry? Because then you have different style houses. You would give one contractor maybe the duplexes in the back.
I'm saying the subdivision itself, they usually have 3 or 4 plans, and they say, okay, we could build this plan on that, this plan on that, but it's 3 or 4 houses for one contractor. Right.
Yeah, one contractor.
And they usually look very similar, like a subdivision.
Yeah.
Because I used to build
Let me give you guys an idea here. If we went out, Paul, if you and I went out and found 54 acres of land.
Yeah.
And we wanted to develop it into 165 units, okay? It would cost us $1 million just to get the development order, all the engineering and everything to do
18 months.
It would also cost us probably about $1.5 million to put the water and sewer in the ground, and it's probably another $1.5 million in assessments, impact fees, and whatever, and then you start work on the land, and there's probably close to $1 million worth of buildings on this building.
Yes.
So this property, actually, if you read the listing, it's appraised at $5.5 million right now.
Was this thing?
So if we bought 54 acres and started from scratch, we'd be spending $4.5 million to be right where we're at today.
That's why it's such a great deal. That's why it makes sense.
Did the city not require this thing?
Because they already did that.
Did the city not require this thing to be bonded to complete the development, the infrastructure? Is it not bonded? You know, the bank.
He wants to know if it was bonded originally. And why did
to get the development order? It would have to have been, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering why the infrastructure, if it was bonded, why the infrastructure wouldn't have been completed? Or are you saying that is?
It's completed.
No, he's saying there's another $1 million to be done.
No, he's talking about more like redoing the roads, redoing the pool.
Because it's been sitting there for
and then do some building.
No, he said there's another $500,000 in impact fees.
There's 1 million.
Yeah, but you don't need them until you build on that particular property, right?
A lot of the impact fees remaining could be done when you build it.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, though, there's about $1 million left. Though.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's just 1 million to get the whole show ready to start.
You gotta remember, people are going to pull their own loan to build their own house. I mean, we might put a couple spec houses up. That's what part of this million's for.
Yeah.
But when they go buy their own,
we'll take care of
when they
all
want to
the-
buy their lot and build their house, they're going to get a price, and they're going to go get a loan, and they're going to build it. Then our contractors will be in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let me say,
It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
That sounds interesting.
Here's the deal. There are probably 100 questions that we would have to go into this deal. The key would be to tie it up with like a 60-day due diligence, 60 to 90-day due diligence, and we would, dig into the whole thing to make sure all that's being said is true, and that, so. Usually in a commercial deal, you're talking at least 90 days due diligence. That for whatever reason you want to back out, you're out.
What would be the last question?
For us to determine that we're going to do this deal and it's going to happen tonight, is a little far fetched.
6 months to start building your first house.
To think about it, it's something that we have to move on to quickly if we want to do something with this.
Yeah.
And the best thing would be someone, a large construction company that has the $3 million credit line or whatever.
He's saying if we had somebody with $3 million, like Pam has, these. Talk to anybody. Listen, give me a lease purchase on the house, and I'll give you 1/3 of the money. Well, that's a little scary. Hey, here's the whole $3 million. Give it to us at 3.2, like he's saying. So we save. $500,000, $700,000 right off the bat, and we first off we get the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going in weak at $1 million, at $100,000 and $1 million to put in there.
Yes.
Just like any other deal, if you go in weak, you risk not getting the deal.
Or worse yet, it's okay not getting a deal, but we're paying too much for the deal.
Yeah, and of course, again, but it looks like there's a lot of profit in this one.
How long has it been back on the market?
How long has it been on the market this time? A week?
14 days.
There you go. Good Pam comes one day, she's already talking a $4 million deal.
Never know.
There you go. I told you to come here months ago. Larry got these things all the time.
Pam's helped me before.
We got stuff in the Bahamas. We got 14 acres in Bahamas to do, and it's not this one out there. All right, well, thanks, Larry. We're going to go on our meeting. You can hang around.
Buddy.
If they have more questions, if you're still here, we'll continue that up, or I'll just have them call you.
Yeah, call me or email me, and Mark, just forward the email to whoever's interested. And, the main thing I'm interested in, I like to be the salesperson in the deal.
Just remember where the referral fee goes to. You taught me, Larry. You taught me. All right, Marcus. Let's. Okay. Well, anyway. Thanks, Larry. That was great. Okay, we're going to finish this up for the next half an hour with Paul Kazanofski and Steve Chaisson.
Yeah, we're going to have to. I don't know. Blake's going to. He was coming to get up and speak. I don't want to cut him short. So. I don't know. How do you, Blake?
It's
kind of. Yeah.
Let's get Blake.
Why don't you guys talk for 20 minutes or so? But we'll take you 10 minutes. We
talk for 20 minutes.
We'll take 10 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. We cut the first hour off the Paul's world deal.
All right. Let's get Blake up here.
Yeah. And she can't talk.
Now we're a network marketing company. Also.
Yeah. Let's. Okay. So I mean, do you want to? I mean, let's. I don't want to not. Education tonight. I want to do that topic because that's what we're doing.
All right. Well, anyway, the good lead-in is from Larry Simons.
Yeah, it's great. I love seeing this stuff. It's cool stuff. But I mean, we're also here for.
But this is what you do. This is how you deal with agents and brokers. You can't just, I'm an investor. I don't like to deal with those people because they take commissions. This is how you use these realtors and brokers and to make money. And these guys are going to talk about how to use those guys right.
Yes.
Steve Chaisson, Paul Kazanofski.
Kind of round table here.
Yeah.
So anyway, the idea of what Paul and I were going to speak about tonight was building profitable relationships with agents and investors, going both ways. Okay, so some of you guys, we get a lot of agents that work with us and a lot of investors, and it goes both ways. And so Paul, I used to be the agent guy that sold to investors. Okay, so my best year I sold 280 houses. Paul actually met him right after the crash.
2008.
But Mark was one of the guys. Now Paul's the guy that's out there flipping hundreds of houses. And so there's a relationship here that's very important. Paul, and I'm going to have him talk about this, Paul is an absolute master of developing relationships with real estate agents where he actually gets deals that come to him like very few people I've ever seen. He's passing on deals that a lot of you guys would take in 2 seconds. I know the group that buys auctions out in Davidson County would take most of the deals that he passes on because he gets more deals, period. Because it's just relationships. So I wanted Paul to talk a little bit about that. And I also wanted to talk to some of the agents out there to kind of explain how I made tons of money. And Mark's done the same thing. Mark, you were the same thing. For agents, we have, I like to call what we're doing here at Green an element of this. We have a horizontally integrated business, right? Some businesses have an element of vertical and or horizontal integration. So we incorporate elements of profitability that are parallel to our existing businesses. In other words, a lot of us who are agents or brokers are investors also. We're making money by hanging a real estate license somewhere. But we're participating in deals. Mary, you do that. In fact, you married. You guys are married. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we work with guys like Paul, and then Paul has these, he can't just work with one agent. He has to work, and you have to understand that, but I'm going to let him go and talk about how he's built those relationships. And I'll talk a little bit about how I catered to that as a broker and also made money working with investors and partnering with investors. So anyway, I'll let you get started.
I'll try to really keep this. It's hard
we got 15 minutes. We'll get Blake up do his.
Here's when because a lot of people here, they didn't do 306 deals yet. So you might be starting out, right? So you're wondering, like, where do I get these deals? Well, anytime I talk to anyone that's starting out, or even someone that's done, like I have a lot of students that done 25 deals, 30 deals, and they want more deals. They want to find where they can find more deals. What my whole mindset was when I first started is, how can someone flip 18 houses at the same time? Or find even 18 houses to flip, that's a good deal. Well, what I started thinking in my mind is there's no way, because I was doing one at a time. I was like, there's no time in one day for one person to do 18. How does these people do 20 deals, and where do they get the deals from, right? Well, what I started seeing is I had to network. I had to develop relationships. But when you develop a relationship, the first thing you have to do is, how do I add value to that relationship? Because most people always want something, right? Like we're it's not because we're greedy people.
Listen to this, agents. Agents need to hear this.
But we all want something, right? We all want value to be put to me. Many times people say, I want to take you out to lunch and pick away your brain. And I, most of the time, if I have time, I'll do it. And I give away my information for free all the time. We teach for Green. I love doing it because I want people to be successful. But I also want people to understand, when you're building relationships, 65% of your time as a real estate investor should be building relationships. So one would think, well, where am I going to find time to build, 65% of my time building relationships? Is because the more relations, it doesn't happen overnight. What I did in my beginnings was I would just call a real estate sign in the yard. on a house that looked like it needed work. And I would tell the realtor my story. And I would say, look, I'm an investor, I'm a little bit different, I do this, and and I take an old house, I make it nice and all that. But here's the value that I'm gonna add to you, because nobody cares about what you're gonna get. They all wanna say, what's in it for me? If I do all this work for you, okay, because real estate agents are, contrary to what people believe, they do a lot of work for their commission. People think, oh, they put it on MLS and they just don't have to do anything, and my house sold because I priced it right. It's absolutely not true. They go through a lot of hell to get to the closing table, and they have to deal with different personalities. And you guys agents in here, you guys know exactly. So as an investor, when I first talk to an agent, I say, listen, here's the value I'm going to add to you. I'm never going to ask you to come and meet me at the house. I don't need you to meet me at the house. I just need you to send me all the foreclosures, send me all the HUDs, all the properties that maybe someone does not know about, that the kid in Dallas inherited from their mom that passed away here in Nashville, and the house is distressed and you can't sell it because you have to sell it to an investor. Now you have me to sell it. But here's the value I'm going to give you, is if you bring me that deal, I'm going to fix it up, and I'm going to do a really great job on fixing it up. I'm going to design it right. I'm going to fix all the problems. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert it back to you. I'm not going to try to negotiate you down on your commissions and all that. I want to give back to you for you to think of me first. So what's the moral of the story is you have to give to get. And what most of us as investors think, well, you know what, they're lucky they know me because I'm giving them deals. It's quite opposite. You have to make them understand that, listen, I can't do this without you, because remember when I first started talking, when I was doing one at a time, I'm like, how do people find all these deals? I'm over here dealing with this. Who has time to do it? So what I did was I developed mini me's. And how I developed this was by developing that relationship with realtors and telling them specifically what I wanted. That meant for me to take maybe 2-3 hours to go to their office, or they would come to my office or whatever, and I would really get detailed on what I was looking for, what areas, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, so on and so. You got to know your numbers, and you have to teach them what you're looking for, and always give them the value. Now, also too, you will see that not all of them work. Some people will bring you more deals than others. Some people will bring you a deal, they'll make money, you'll keep your word, you give them back, you revert it back to them when it's fixed up, and they make double commission. You buy it and you tell them, look, I'm a cash buyer. I'm very difficult because I know how to buy, so I'm not going to buy all the ones you send to me, but I'm going to do the due diligence. It's not your place. You got buyers and sellers you got to work with. So I want to be as little of a pain in the you-know-what to you guys, but I also want to add so much, because once I do buy a property from you with these specifications that you teach them how to do for you, and then you revert it back, because it's always a give and take. And I'm one of those persons that I rather give, and anybody knows me knows that. And it's because, I don't know, maybe I wasn't held a lot as a kid or something. I don't know. But whatever it was, I just get a really enjoyment on giving to people. And I get excited for the realtor. They have to see your heart and soul. And that's part of building a relationship. When you build relationships, don't look at what's in it for you. You got to tell them what's in it for them. Because as humans, man, you got to add the value back to each other, and that was the first thing. And so, as Steve said earlier, I have so many realtors that bring me deals that are pocket listings that no one knows about, because, Marcia died here in Nashville, and their son, Dave, in Texas, called, called, Pam, and Pam is going to be the listing agent. And she goes, well, look, I have an investor that'll buy this. He will buy it. He's a cash offer. You could just max out because, man, this house is in bad shape. Did you see it, David, in Texas? David in Texas goes, no, I mean, I know she had some deferred maintenance, but I didn't realize how bad it was. Oh man, it's leaking in the back, whatever. But I do have an investor that I know has the money. He's ready to go. He's fair with his price. He goes off of a grid of this formula and he's willing to do X amount of dollars. Let me see if he's interested in it. And I'll get back to you tomorrow. That's the value she could add as a realtor to this guy that's wanting to sell it quick because he just inherited. Also, the value comes back to me, right? So when I see it, even if the guy, sometimes, believe it or not, I'll even go up a little bit more. Even if the guy is being a little bit selfish, David in Texas in this example, I might go up a little bit because I want, first of all, I want the house. Second of all, I want my realtor to get rewarded for sending me all these deals. Like, they could put it on automatic too as an email blast to you, all the foreclosures, all the HUDs, and some of the pocket listings they might get, or something that's been on the market that needs work for over 120 days. It's up to us as investors to communicate with your realtors and be loyal. Because I have an in-house realtor. I could sell my houses for 1%.
Well, and let's set the expectation for realtors. Being loyal doesn't mean that they own you, and investors need to understand that.
No, that's true.
Investors have to have many realtors.
Because
and it's like it's like going on a date. Okay.
Yeah.
When you go on a date with someone, it doesn't mean you own them. You went on a date with them. Yeah. You guys get along. It's the same thing.
But you have to verbalize this and say, look, I really respect your profession, what you do, and I know it's a lot harder.
I'm a buyer. If you've got it.
If you have this deal that I specifically, I'm a buyer. I'm not going to tell you I could buy it and then not come up with the money. Or, I might not have the money today, but I have like a plethora of people that lend me money. So I'm going to pay interest on that money, but I can get the money. So if you bring me within these parameters, so to speak, a deal like that, I'm a buyer. So I'm not going to basically jerk you around. I'm a buyer, but understand that I cannot exclusively work with one realtor because there's very few and far between good deals. Because like Steve was saying, we say no to more deals than we say yes, obviously. I mean, I say no probably 80 to 85 times a month to get 2 or 3 that I do say yes to. So I might make 100 offers and I get 2 or 3 deals. And the way I network with particularly someone like Steve or Caleb in the back here, to me and Caleb's brought me many deals already, and we're actually doing a deal together because I want him to learn how to do it because I respect his hard work, his grind. So if you're building that relationship and you see someone doing a little bit more for you because you're going to gain, right? Then I want to reward that person more. It might be that a realtor brings me 4, 5, 6 deals in 1 year. Okay, like Catina is bringing me 3 new bills. I want to be able to reward her more. So let's say I have a house that doesn't have a realtor. I might look at my board and say, you know what? I love Catina. I see her hustling. She's helping people. She's always engaged. She's plugged in. I want to reward her with a listing that I don't really have a realtor to sell. So I'm just going to give it to her because I know she's competent enough to sell that. And I know I'm competent enough to price it right so that I'm trying to help her and our relationship. Remember this as investors. If you go over budget and you expect your realtor to sell that over budget, thanks, buddy. You're not being fair to the relationship, because even the best of salesperson as a realtor cannot sell a house that's worth $199 for $239 because you went over budget. So here's another thing that I add value as an investor. I say to the realtor, here's the deal. It's finished, it's done, it's painted, it's redone beautifully, roof, windows, and all that. why don't you come up with a price that will cause this house to sell in 30 days or less in a bad market, in 5 days or less in a great market, which we're all in. That's adding value, because a good realtor is going to know where to price it. And a good investor is going to know how to buy it right and fix it right. If you go over budget, that's on you. That's why we have a formula that we work on, so that we are safe and that we can help the realtor. Now, if the realtor doesn't sell it, don't blame them. It's not their fault. It's your fault, because you're trying to get too much for the house. If they need a price reduction, usually the number one reason why a house doesn't sell is because of the price. So you don't want to hurt them and their numbers, because they have number system too, that they can't have something on the board for 4 or 5 months because you didn't sell it right. It hurts their bottom line at the end of the year. So that's the value. And so when you talk to anybody you're networking, especially a realtor, you have to tell them that you understand this as an investor, because it's really it's funny, because most realtors think it's hard to work with an investor. It actually isn't when you know what you're doing. I never bother my realtors. I tell them, just send it to me. I'll do all my due diligence and I'll send you the offer. I'll text you the offer and you put it in whenever you could. If it's in the morning, if it's at night, and we'll put in the offer. If they come anywhere close to our facts and figures, I want to buy it. You get paid on the front end. Let me fix it. I'll get it done in 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, depending on the scope of work, and then you get it right back. And you want to give them that beautiful house ready to sell. And you don't want to put all kinds of pressure if it's not selling. It's your fault if it doesn't sell. They don't need the pressure. They already got pressure. So you have to really be mindful of what the relationship is. It's a give and take. It's not you winning. And I watch a lot of these shows, $1 million listings, and they're mad at their realtor when the realtor is telling them, look, your house is only worth 1.2, but you wanted me to list it at 1.8. Now we got an offer for 1.3, and you're giving me a hard time trying to get them up at 1.8. Just an example to throw out there for you. So really be cognizant, and at 65% of your day as an investor should be meeting guys like us that get deals, guys like Caleb, and get plugged in. And you could be a landlord and might pay a little bit more for a house than I would, because I have to pay closing costs, realtors fees, all these fees. If you're a landlord, you might say, well, I'm going to hold on to this property for 15 years and then sell it. So I'm going to make that return on investment. That's another thing. If you have a realtor, you could tell them, look, I might not be interested in the deal you have, but now I have a network of people. I have a landlord that might do a little bit more. That's the give and take. I want you to get a commission on the buy end. So you're constantly coming with the heart of like a teacher and a heart of a giver, not a heart of a taker and what's in it for me. You have to tell them what's in it for them first, and that's how you build relationships. It doesn't even matter, even if it's
a very good point. I want to get Blake up here, because we want him to give him. It's going to be about 20 minutes, but finding that win-win solution without being too selfish it's really important from the realtor side to understand. Like, you have to try to help people. It's okay to be a little aggressive. You have to be somewhat aggressive to make a sale, to make something happen. Investors want to hear the properties that you have. But having guys, when I was selling a lot, like Mark or Paul, people that wanted to buy different types of property, I mean, I know when I was selling tons of property, I didn't see half the properties I sold.
He didn't.
I
bought properties from him he never even seen. I promise you.
I have not seen properties I've sold to Paul before.
No.
And make a phone call. You learn whether or not the things fit. You try to conserve people's time, but you also understand that agents have multiple investors, investors have multiple agents, and this is a necessary relationship. And investors wind up partnering with agents sometimes, and vice versa, depending on if you add value, you're bringing any money to the table. So there's a.
I'm doing one with Monica Breedlove right now.
There you go.
That brought me a deal, and she actually brought the rehab money too.
Is that the Hermitage deal?
No, it's on Sandberg Place.
Yes,
off
yeah, I know.
It's not Hermitage. It's Stewart's Ferry. Stewart's Ferry, off of Stewart's Ferry.
That's not the one for 170, is it? With a
It was, but we ended up getting. I told her to go back. She got it for 152.
I just got that email yesterday.
Yeah,
so,
it's gone. It's a done deal now. I'm doing it.
Now
with
you
her.
took him down
So
where
do
he
you
needed
see?
to
Like I'm sitting there going, okay, well, I'm gonna have to give 50% of my profit there. But guess what? I never would have got that deal without her, and she brought in the money. So I brought in my contractors, my subs, all the things, and she never has to be there. And by the way, I'm 2 weeks ahead of schedule, and I'll probably hit exactly what the budget we talked about. But that's adding value.
Remember that. And also too, let's say you sell, and we're all investors, and we sell to a buyer, and that buyer is always going to ask for things, and they do a home inspection, and this got to get done, that's got to get done. Help the realtor by doing a lot of those things. Don't say, no, I'm not fixing nothing, I'm done. I know I'm giving, because it hurts them too. So that's your end on giving again. Say, you know what, Pam, I'll tell you what, tell them I'll do line number 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm not going to do 8 because they're asking too much. 5 and 6, see if we can negotiate there, and then I'll do 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I'll do all of that, and I think they'll see that on being fair. So that's going to give us some bargaining tools so that we can hold the deal together.
We're always reasonable on finishing out.
I know a lot of investors are not though, and so now the deal has fallen through.
So as an agent, how do we find out what investors are looking for?
Well, it's actually, believe it or not, it's more geared towards the investors to
find you, but because you guys are networking in here with us, you know who the players are or who wants to get in the business, right? You want to extend, because your job as a realtor, 65% of building network.
Right.
Network, clientele, buyers, sellers. You're looking for buyers, you're looking for sellers, right? To list and buy. You're also looking for investors, because when me and Manny always scratch our head and say, man, we tell them, bring us short sales, because we do the short sales. Bring us short sales. They're not, and we tell them, we are not 100% on these things, because a lot of times homeowners don't do what we tell them to do, and they get in the way of their deal. They can't get out of their own way to save their own house or their own life, because they just, it's just a common thing that people get in their own way. So you as an investor, as a realtor that wants to work in investors, if you make money with investors like any one of us that are doing it, right? Take a little extra time to find out what we want, and then go back and make it systematic by just sending it out there. Just have your go-to people and send it out there. You know, because you'd be surprised, because this is true story. I had a guy, Steve Manley from Exit Realty. In 1 year, he did 38 deals with me. And that's God's honest truth. In 1 year, 38. He won an award, and I went to the award thing, and he thanked me on stage. He said, the reason why I won this award is because of that guy right there, because I was nothing but honest and loyal to him, because he brought me the 38 deals. So essentially, he got the money on the front end and on the back end. And he even hired, believe it or not, he hired a specific lady to put in all my offers for me, because it was worth for him to do it.
I'll go ahead and help you with being a bit of a sniper on this right now.
Okay.
It's not happening in Davidson County in the MLS.
No.
I know.
Just go ahead,
Just
short sales. Now I will say maybe on the edge somewhere, like out in
Clarksville,
off of Moncrief, like in Goodlettsville, there might be a rural property somewhere. So when you get maybe in Cheatham County, maybe in Dixon County, maybe in Murray County, maybe in Watertown or Bethpage, maybe an hour outside.
But it still could happen in Davidson because you might know somebody in Davidson County that says, hey, Catina, I'm thinking about selling my house. And you go over there and you see this distressed property and say, look, we can't sell this. That's what I'm talking about because MLS is really is tight here. I agree
used to
with
be able to scour the MLS every day and find deals where my time involved with it made a lot of sense. So it's
graph. 60% of your time is network.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah, you good.
So really, just like Paulie said, as an agent, it's going to be. I mean, you just said you had a probate attorney.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect.
Right.
That is an ideal connection to something that could be very tangible.
That's what I'm.
My number on that house wasn't far off of what. I mean, they had someone else that paid just a little bit more.
Yeah. And that's okay. I don't ever get mad. I don't get mad. I never one time would like say, well, that realtor is so unloyal. They brought it to someone. Caleb knows. I mean, I do deals with Caleb all the time. He's actually one of my students. And when he first started, he was doing well. But when him and I connected, he networked with me. He actually called me.
Right.
And I took him under my wing, and he's soaring now. I want to get him to where I am, to where he doesn't have to sell him to me. People would say, well, why would someone do that? Why would someone help somebody? Because I want him to be successful. I want him to be a multi-millionaire. Okay, I'm okay. I'm already there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried.
Well, hey guys, we're going to have Blake Duncan's going to come up, and we're going to talk a little bit about it's a presentation called The Power of One. As you guys know, and we've discussed this before, we're here for real estate education, but this is also a business opportunity. Okay, we want you to come here and meet people, network. Blake's just going to talk a little bit about some of the power of exponential reproduction in the business opportunity if you're really committed to something like this. So as we discussed before, all of our meetings are always free and open to the public, but there's a business side to what we do that's very powerful, and we've got some people actually making money with it now. So not only are they getting education for free, they're getting paid to get educated. So
How much?
Come up. How much?
How much is the education?
Education is to be a representative totals $109.94 a month. It's $99.97 just for the classroom materials online component, which is actually gives you 4 hours a month of directly interactive training with Paul. I do a course every month on auctions. Jeremy Tabor is going to move to weekly also. He's the #2 exit real estate agent in the world. He's also a multimillionaire investor. So literally tens of hours of mentoring with millionaires every month. It's $99.97 plus $9.97. It's a total of $109.94. The value in the context of what you can buy in real estate, there's absolutely nothing like it. If you can find it, show it to me, because it doesn't exist. So you can literally train with people that we've been through the years and years of experience. Each of us has flipped hundreds of houses.
Larry Simons is one.
Larry Simons has flipped hundreds of houses. Another guy, and he's and doing it in a different market. And there's a lot more to this. I'm happy to. We're a little bit squeezed today because of the intro. Definitely happy to talk more about the vision. But what you can see with our platform is we're creating nationwide connectivity. So our meeting is actually simulcast. Anyone in the country can watch it. And you can also do the same thing from another market. And we record and we archive our meetings. So all this material that we produce is a growing archive of material that's available for our members to study, to follow, to dive into. So if you're actually serious about real estate, you're not just playing around. If you're actually serious and you want to get yourself educated, you want to make some changes, you want to actually get in the trenches with people who are doing it the right way every day and can help mentor you, teach you, bring you along the path, then I can tell you, and there's nothing out there even close to what we're doing right now. So anyway, Blake, come on up. Blake Duncan, tell us.
appreciate Steve and Mark letting me come up here and speak. Again, it's going to be strictly talking about recruiting through whatever type of business you have, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in network marketing, green, for example. So it's called the Power of One. The meaning behind this whole thing is to help relieve the pressures that we put on ourselves when we hear the word recruiting. Because a lot of times we hear the word recruiting, we start thinking big numbers. We start putting pressure on ourselves. Oh my God, a fear of speaking, get in trouble in front of people, and they start tightening up. I can't do it, so they quit. Well, a little background about me. My degree's in education. I taught school and coached for 12 years. So I got trained on how to be up here in front of people. So it doesn't bother me to be in front of big groups, whether it's a group of 25 or 30 or a group of 500, wouldn't matter to me. But the great thing about it is I used those previous trainings to transition into other things. So after education and coaching, I got into automotive sales for a couple of years in finance and used that. It was customer service, just like teaching was. I taught people how to buy a car. Then I got into restaurant management, another customer service kind of thing. Use that to again, help create the experience for them to enjoy the restaurant and become a repeat customer. Then I joined network marketing about 6.5 years ago, and I'll be the first person to tell you, none of the stuff that I'm going to share with you tonight is my original ideas, because I'm not that guru. I've gone and learned these things, and so as we go through the slides, you'll see things that will kind of make sense and it'll all come together by the end. But when I was coaching, we had to break down film and watch the other team, how they preparing for the game on a Friday night. So I learned to become what's called a good thief. What do you mean by that? Well, I'm not stealing something from somebody else to make it mine of value, but what I'm doing is I'm watching Paul's team on the video, and I'm watching how they run their plays and what I'm going to do to scheme against them on the next Friday night. Well, if they run the same thing that we do, and they do it a little bit better, and I can apply that to my team, then I'm going to steal that from him and apply it to my guys to make me better. Mm-hmm. That's being a good thief. I take something, I learn something, I teach something. Even on the wall up here, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So if you break the idea of like he was talking earlier about making it about giving, if you learn something, give that knowledge to somebody else and it'll come back to you. Mm-hmm. So anything worthwhile takes time and it's not easy. So one thing I want to impress on people is that failure is the stepping stones to success. If you get out there and start doing something the very first time you do it and you're successful at it and it didn't challenge you, it was too easy. You know, the first time Michael Jordan shot a basketball, I promise you, he didn't make it. He didn't make every shot he took in the NBA either. You know, Babe Ruth had 714 home runs, but he also led the major leagues in strikeouts. You know, people don't think about the failures that come along with things, and that scares them because they go, if I fail, then everybody's going to think this. You got to forget about that part of it. Okay, excuse me. Once you learn it, you pass it on. Helping someone else shortens their learning curve to success. If you can make it quick, if Paul, and he tells you all the time, if he can shorten somebody's time from getting that check, he's going to do that. The faster you get them paid is all he's worried about, because that's going to reward him in the long run. It comes back around. And it's going to make sense. It's going to tie all together here in a minute. I'll talk about the power of one. But recruiting usually is a fear, and listen to this, because of the unknown or the pretense of something that really isn't what it appears to be. I'm saying it again. Usually is a fear because of the unknown or the pretense of something that really isn't what it appears to be. So we create more problems than what they really actually are in our minds. Okay? Our brain tricks us into thinking or overthinking and can often limit the success or reward for our efforts. What do we mean by that? Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to offer you a job. This job is going to take you 30 days. Go ahead and go to the next slide there, Marcus. In that 30 days, I'm going to pay you either A, you get to pick how you get paid. Pay you $2 million today, you work for the next 30 days. Or I'll pay you a penny today, and I'll double that penny every day for the next 30 days and pay you at the end. Which one are you going to take?
Two.
Taking $2 million right now? Who's taking $2 million right now?
Number two.
Anybody taking $2 million right now?
I'm taking $2 million right now.
Okay.
I can blend Larry's thing.
That's fine. All right. So, go ahead. if you took the 2 million, you left 3 million on the table.
That's right.
How does that work? Well, it's called compound. It's not. It's a saying I learned in the automotive business, and it very big, and you can use it in the real estate business as well. It's math, not magic. It's the numbers. It's nothing more. It's not a magical form. It's nothing anybody's going to trick you. It's strictly math. Okay, and multiplying is way faster than adding. If you remember that, then the compounding will make sense. Go ahead, Marcus. So if you see on the screen here, in the first week, you're only going to make 64 cents if I pay you by the penny each day, and I double it every day. But in the second week, you've made $81.92. Don't quit your day job, but you just went from 64 cents to $81 in a week. Now, another week goes by, you hit $10,000. Another week goes by, you hit 1.3 million. You're not even at the end of the month. Because the next day it goes up another 1.3 million. And the next day after that it goes up another 2.6 million. So you end up making over $5.3 million by doubling a penny every day for just 30 days. That compounding can be, those number compounding can be applied toward recruiting. So why is it important to understand this? Well, we live in a digital world, and it's getting more and more digital every day. Your biggest asset is your network of people. If you don't think it's true, ask yourself this. How many of you got paid from Facebook?
Every day.
How many of those checks came from Mark Zuckerberg?
None.
Not a one. He gave you a platform to make money on, but he didn't pay you. We paid him. He's worth over $40 billion. Why? Because we gave him our network of email addresses, and he leveraged those into advertising and is made over $40 billion since 2004. Your network is your most valuable asset. Okay? And so why does that matter? Well, you think about social media. The average person has about 300 people that are friends. Some people have 5,000, have their own fan page, that kind of stuff. Those are the anomalies. The average person has 300 people. How many of those people do they trust? About 5 or 6. So why is that important? It's called, there's 3 types of markets. There's a hot market, a warm market, and a cold market. Your 5 to 6 people of your people that you trust is your hot market. So when you're recruiting, you go to them. Why? They trust you. You trust them. There's not a wall of fear in front of them where if Paul knows me and I know Paul, he's not going to be worried about creating an objection and why he's going to say no. His wall's going to be down because there's a relationship there built. It's a hot market. He's more likely to listen to everything I got to say. Whether he likes it or not doesn't matter. He's willing to listen. There's not a wall there that you have to overcome. Okay? If it's a warm market, that's a person that you know as an acquaintance. It's not somebody that you have a direct relationship with. You maybe work with them here and there. Real estate agents that you know or investors that you know, but you didn't work with them directly, so you know who they are. It's a warm market. But there's a cold market. Somebody you don't know. They know they're in the business, but that's about it. Somebody you meet at a restaurant, run into, and you happen to say, "Hey, what do you do?" "Oh, I do this." "Oh, I do the same thing." That's a cold market. But if you stay in your hot market, and through those people that you know go to their hot market, and you're constantly going into their hot market. If I go to Stephanie's 5 people that she knows and trusts, and then those 5 people have 5 more, there's 25 more. And those 25 have 5 more, there's another 125. I'm never out of a hot market to worry about recruiting. I'm recruiting 5 at a time, trying to get in front of the people that have the biggest trust factor with the person that brought you to the table. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, so that leads us to the power of 1. How does that work? It's no different than compounding of the numbers of sales with the money you did the job on. But so how fast can you build 100 or 500 or 1,000 or 4,000 person network in your company, even in Green, for example? Well, it's not easy, but it's a lot quicker than we think it can happen. Okay, next slide. So let's say I get Stephanie, and I add Stephanie for the month of August to my network of people. And all I'm going to ask her to do is to add 1 person to our group the next month. Okay, so if you look back far here, I added her. That's 2 of us on our team now, right? We both go add 1. It's 2 people. We now have 4 the next month. If you continue to compound that through an entire calendar year, at the end of 12 months, you have a network of 4,096 people. How many did you start with? 1. How many did you add? 1. In a calendar year, how many did you add in a calendar year?
12.
You only added 12. See how it can be small numbers makes it big, all on its own. It's math, not magic.
How much you making 4,000 people, Steve, in green?
Running the computer simulations, and this is higher, much higher than where you're coming from, but it's a little over $500,000 a year with a network that big. So for network marketing companies, a 30/30 in green is about $400 a month. So 30/30 where you were coming from was about 200,
250, 300, depending on the month.
Yeah, it's about $400 a month. 400 and some. Actually, it's a little higher. It's really more like 500 when you count the. You start hitting a little bit of lineage component and the break-even bonus. So that's just the residual.
Right.
400 a month. So.
But we're just talking. It doesn't matter if Paul added 1 person to his crew and they brought 1 person every month and so on, he'd have a crew of 4,096 people. How many more houses could he build or renovate? You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing. This can be applied if you want to build something bigger by just adding 1. Not taking the stress saying, oh, I've got to get these big groups of people and go talk to all these people at one time. You don't have to. If you can, great. Shortens the curve. Right? It goes from A to B A to Z much quicker. You don't have to go all the way through. But if you need to, just go A to B, and then go B to C. Take the pressure off of having to recruit big numbers. Okay, so let's talk baseball for a minute. People familiar with baseball, right? Hall of Fame. If you're a Hall of Fame hitter, what's your batting average?
300.
300 or more, right? Anything over 300, you're a Hall of Fame guy. You did great. You had 3 out of every 10 times of a bat, you got a base hit. So it's 30% success rate. 30% success rate, and you're a Hall of Famer. Okay, think about that. Not very much, right? But it's the hardest thing in sports to do. Take a round bat, hit a round ball square. Go figure, right? Again, it's math, not magic. One of those physics things. I'm not that smart. I can do it, but I'm not that smart. But anyway, let's talk about going back to the numbers we had at 4,096 over 12 months. And we're going to say here, with a 10% success rate, that means just 1 out of every 10 people we talk to agree to join your company or your business. Just 1 out of 10. Okay? 9 out of 10 said no thanks. Not for me. Would you quit or would you press forward? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If I've only got a 10% success rate, in this room, you're probably going to press forward. But in the general thinking, how many people you know would probably quit? Majority of them, right? Next slide, please, Marcus. If we just had the 10% success rate in the calendar year, you're still adding 409 new people to your company or to your business or to your network. 409 is a crap ton of people to add to your network in 1 year. That's 1 out of 10. It's not like you're having to go out and see 1,000 people. You just got to go out and see 1. And if it's for them, great. If it's not, it's okay. Take the pressure off yourself. Okay? Excuse me. So, there's 3 main things. Next slide, please, Marcus. That are keys to remember here. How many do you need to go see? Because it's a numbers game is all it is. It's just a numbers game. How many people can I get in front of? Well, the answer is enough. But what's enough? I need to go see enough people to get whatever success level I choose. Do you just want to add 15 or 20? Then go see enough to get 15 or 20. Whenever that number is, you got it. However high or low you set your own personal goals. Just go see enough. Enough to get there, and then enough to keep it there. There's 2 different numbers. I got to get there, but what happens? We always know what happens to somebody, even though you add them to your team, what always happens on down the road? They fall off. They quit. It wasn't for them. Bad timing. Something happened. They had to go and take this money and go allot it somewhere else. So do whatever you got to do to get enough to get it there, and then do enough to keep it there. Does that make sense? Okay. Secondly, don't recruit with an emotional attachment. You got to have rhinoceros skin. Okay? What I mean by that is a rhinoceros starts charging at its prey. It's not worried about the spears coming at it. It's got 2 horns on the front. It's going to keep on charging forward. Unless it goes through its head or its heart, it's going to continue to run forward. It doesn't know any different. Okay? That's all it's going to do. It's going to charge forward and make the kill, and that's all it's going to do. And it either dies in the process or it kills it and wins in the end. That's all a rhinoceros does. Very thick skin. Okay? But it's not an emotional attachment if somebody tells you no. They're not telling you no. Okay? No just means not right now. Okay? No is all it's saying is, hey, I don't know enough to make a decision to join you. Or I have a fear of the unknown, so therefore I'm going to say no just to keep myself safe. Some people are just that overly conservative, right? So don't add the pressure that you got to get a yes. Go in there and say, hey, I'm going to share. I have a gift. I can either share it with Stephanie or keep it to myself. Now, if I share it with her and she says no, what do I have? I still have this gift, right? I'm not asking for permission. I'm not asking for her approval. I'm asking her to let me share what I have, a gift that I want to have share with her. And if she likes it, then we are going to go share it with Lloyd. And then with Lamar. And then with Catina. We're going to continue to share that gift because we're not seeking approval or acceptance. We're saying, hey, I've got something that you guys see. I thought about you. Can you give me some time to show it to you? Yes, no. If they say yes, great, show it to them. If they say no, it's not for me, okay, come back 6 months. You know what you get on Facebook? You get a lot of silent likers. People that watch what you're doing, but they never like it. They like what you're doing, but they're never going to let you know about it. They're going to watch you, though. Because if you succeed, hey, you show me that again? Hey, how's that working for you? Hey, you making some money with that? They're going to ask. Oh, yeah, it's more fun. We have a lot of fun with it. Can you show it to me again? Sure. They're going to come back around. If they don't come back around, you go back to them 6 months later. Hey, how's that working out for you? You still in that job? You still doing this? Still doing what you're doing? Yeah. You still happy? Don't look like it. Yeah, remember, at all times, what do you have? You have the gift. You get to share it whenever you want to. So it makes it easier on you. There's less pressure. And last little thing, the last slide there. It says at the top here, again, they're not asking permission or approval. You're simply just sharing the information. But the bottom part says, passion, honesty, integrity, and belief are your required cornerstones to recruiting success. But what does that mean? Passion, it has to be real. You can't fake it. When Paul starts talking about redoing a house, he's not faking his passion, is he? When Steve's talking about green, he's not faking his passion. Okay? Honesty, under promise and over deliver. Do not tell somebody something's going to happen that you have no for sure fact know that's going to happen. Under promise, over deliver. Why? That makes your words stay good. And they can't say, oh, he told me a lie. Because that wasn't actually truth. Now, can you be wrong about something because you were misinformed? Yeah. So what's the best thing to do? Ask before you speak about it, or just don't tell them. Under promise, over deliver. Okay? Integrity. Treat everyone the same. Don't compromise your principles and start making deals with somebody. So, well, if I make a deal, Stephanie, I'll make a deal with her, but now I've got to make a deal with Lloyd. And it's a different deal than hers. And now the whole integrity of the whole thing is gone. No deals. Everybody gets the same deal. You share the same information with everybody. You show it to them the same way. Don't show it to them different. Share the information about green the same way. They all see it the same way. They all make a decision the same way. Yes or no, it doesn't matter. And lastly, your belief. If you don't believe it, it'll show in your words and it'll also show in your posture. You're sitting there going, I don't mind if you got another one. We got this little meeting we go to. We talk about investment and stuff. You might want to check it out. So you think I believe in what I'm talking about? But I'm like, man, you got to come check this out. My energy, my posture is going to tell him whether it's worthwhile looking at or not. No matter what I say, he's going to buy me. how I'm standing, how I'm approaching. Am I leaning forward? Am I talking with my hands a little bit, but I'm not getting all crazy up here. I'm talking with my hands to make it where he can see what I'm talking about and understand what I'm talking about, and have a posture about my belief and my passion about it, because the belief and passion kind of tie together. Because if you believe into it and you know what you're talking about, your energy and your passion can get higher and higher and higher. You're never going to give it away. So just go get one and take the pressure off yourself when it comes to any type of recruiting. That's it. That's all I got.
I like that.
Hire of one.
I like it.
He mentioned Zig Ziglar. It's not that they say no, it's just that they don't know enough. Well, that's it for Green today. We ran way over, but it was packed with a lot of fun stuff, a lot of information. And and to me, the most important part of information I learned, I didn't know Paul knew what plethora means. So actually, it was a good day for me. Anyway, we can hang around for a little bit, chat. If you want to sign up, Irina can always help you doing that. And if you want to take another look at it and you want to do some private time, let Irina show you the website. I mean, the website is packed. We're very proud that Doc, he's not here today. He's at I sent him to a meeting in West Palm Beach.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
And so Irina will show you the website, all the cool stuff we have. We got more and more education popping on every day. So thanks all for showing up, and hang around for a bit. Thanks.